Blessings and welcome to the Ascension Alchemists podcast. Welcoming all of you to this last Sunday of 2025 and the last week of 2025. I am so excited to get into this episode with you that is all dedicated to reflection. So welcome, welcome, and welcome. This is my solo episode, and I'm truly delighted to be here with you. And thank you so much, first, from the core of my heart, that you are listening to this, that you're part of this community that is about embodiment of our God mighty presence, so that we can be a living presence in this life, in our own life, and in the life of others, bringing the blessings, the heavenly blessings, which is very real. It is not a fantasy. It exists. And as we become aware of it, we get to bring it to the human density, and we get to ground it, and we get to live as that living, breathing Christ light, exactly the way Jesus did when he walked here. He pointed that to us, and we're all given the opportunity to live that in our everyday life. So what a blessing. We get to do it in community. We get to talk about it. We get to meet the challenges that come along the way, and how with God Almighty we can do this indeed. So let's talk about reflection 2025. My gosh. I feel if you're driving, you may want to listen to this later. If you're sitting, this is going to be good. You may want to grab a piece of paper, because you're going to want to take some notes on this and actually apply it, because it's going to be very helpful for you, as I did this myself today. So 2025, when we get ready to go into a new year. So we have 2026 this week coming up. And a lot of people are usually very busy making the list for 2026. And it's really wonderful. What I have found is that most individuals are not taking a time to really reflect in depth of gratitude for what they experienced in 2025. So I want to open this space up for you to go in this invitation that will truly shift a way for you to go into 2026. Because most don't come to this place. How you start is how you finish, and how you finish is how you start. It's up to you. So I'm going to bring it from the mighty God presence lens to you. And it is a heart-filled invitation. So let's talk about reflection. The reflection that I'm speaking about is coming from the lens of God Almighty. How much were you able to allow the radiance of God Almighty in your 25 experience, in 2025, in the areas of your life, all areas, your work area, your relationship area, your parenting area, your parents area, cousins, colleagues, activities, mentorship, maybe new endeavors that you partook, groceries, driving, working out, whatever. Maybe you were in the hospital, whatever, however it was. How much of God Almighty was able to radiate out of you? So as you take out this paper, start with that reflection. Go from the beginning of the year, January, 12 months. Make a list. Where are the areas that you actually allowed the radiance of that gorgeous Christ light radiate out of you? Make a list. Reflect on that. Breathe into that. Feel into that. And celebrate into that your human actually allowed it. Make a list. Where are the areas in you personally that you stretch your human in discomfort, where that seed of greatness that was planted in you had the opportunity to peek out? This kind of goes back to this previous reflection that I'm speaking about. What seed of greatness did your human get to witness in you? In wonderment that, wow, this exists in you. And it got to come out through the way you were able to be stretched out. Reflect on that. Write that out. Here's another one. Reflect in that space where you took actionable steps that up until this year you just couldn't, or you wouldn't, or you just weren't able to, but you took maybe one that made a difference. Maybe 2 steps you took made a difference. Maybe 10 steps you took or 20 steps you took. Each of those steps, write them, reflect on it. And who did you become by taking that step? Who are you now? Reflect on that and experience the gratitude in that. Yeah, breathe into that. Here's another one. As you reflect, the challenges that you faced this year in 2025, did you meet the challenges with a positive attitude, with faith, with trust, with praise, with thanksgiving? Or did you meet the challenges with frustration, anger, and even adding more to the fuel, insecurity, and even the, more yuckier part of you coming out? That's okay. Just reflect on that. How did you meet that? And on the ones that you were able to meet with grace, you were able to meet with praise and thanksgiving, what awareness came over you? What was your experience? Sit in that gratitude. Here's another one. What gifts came out of you that you had never ever discovered before, you'd never seen before, that you can just sit in the celebration like, wow, these are all the gifts inside of me that life gave me the opportunity for me to experience? Make a list of those. Even if it was one, sit in that reflection of gratitude. Here's another one. Did you help others? Did you go way and beyond this year? Did you stretch yourself even more? Did you actually help somebody who really didn't deserve it, but you went out and beyond? Did you give a lending hand to a stranger? How many of them? Did you give way more than your humanly was even capable? And what happened? Reflect on that. And breathe into that. Yeah. How about if you have a partner? The areas that may have been difficult, how did you handle it? Were you different this year? And what came out of it? Or if you had a good relationship, what did you add as an addition? And how did that come about? Yeah, reflect on that. Here's another reflection. With your finances, did you close up or did you expand? Did you reflect on how your energy creates your currency? Did you notice when you were in a really good space how much more money flew through you? And when you were in a low place, like negative thoughts, how it closed you up? Reflect on that. What about your health? How was your health this year? Reflect on that. Did you celebrate your every part of your health, whether it was your pancreas, your eyes, your teeth, your nose, your ears, your shoulders? How did you celebrate? Did you celebrate your body even greater? Did you take really good care of it? Did you nurture it? Did you nourish it? Did you give it the food, the rest, the relaxation, what it needed? Reflect on that. What about your pets? How was your relationship with your pets? Did you love them more than yourself? Reflect on that. Did you prioritize your children, your parents, your work, everything else above you? Reflect on that. Make a list also of all the areas that you really received. You receive help, you receive support, you received favor, you received out of nowhere assistance. And did you really, really, really take notice of how God Almighty was behind that? And did you come to God in so much gratitude, God Almighty, in that recognition, in that favor? Did you increase your faith? Did you go to church, mosque, synagogue, wherever it is, temple? Did you take part in a community greater and expand in standing in faith even higher? Did you give yourself permission to not judge others, to be neutral, and to choose love above everything else, whether it was in religion, beliefs, politics? Did you choose love greater? So these are all ways to sit in reflection, and there's so much more. And as you sit in reflection, praise yourself in every area that you can. In thanksgiving, shouting out how you were able to allow God Almighty in you, even if it was just for a little bit. Make that a big deal. Were you able to take the problem off the pedestal and put God Almighty first? Did you walk in greater trust? Did you walk in greater faith? All of these are part of it. For those of you who are part of our association, Private Ministry Association, how did our Monday night I Am Presence meditation change you? How did it support you? How did coming back to that place in you every Monday night assist you? That remarkable unification of your full presence. And for those of you that are part of our 1 year inner workshop with the mastery to taking charge over your belief, your thought, your emotions. How did life become different by what we taught you? And those, of course, are now available on our website. You can certainly go on there on the Academy portion and purchase it so you can go through it yourself. We handled it for 1 year. Now it's available. You can do it also in 3 months. Once a week, go through one of the lessons, apply it. That's amazing. Start your 2026 in a very different area. Especially if you're struggling with your thoughts and beliefs, take charge over your life. But how was, for those of you that took part, how was that for you? For those of you that had health challenge, did you allow more God Almighty presence in? Did you carry it all on your human self? Did you allow others to help you? Did you receive? How was that for you? These are all ways to reflect. Yeah, isn't it amazing? When we come in this place, when we sit and we write and we become so present with ourselves, we get to see a whole year that we lived. And so many things become accessible to us. And it is from here then we can truly choose with so much gratitude and thanksgiving how we want to go into 2026. Where are the areas that we really flourished, and what are the areas that there is room for growth, for the greater version of ourselves to become, because that also is an invitation door that exists. We came in this human experience to have the human to go through many different encounters and experiences so that the greater, better, greater version of itself that is stored within, like hidden treasures, can come out. And the only way it comes is when we're put in certain situations. So what are the situations you experience? How did it come out? What did it make you feel? How did it help others? How did it become a legacy? How did it support on a much larger picture? And maybe it was a little bit, maybe it was a lot. Can it now go into 2026 even greater? Where are the areas that was unhealed of the core major wounds? Neglect, rejection, abandonment, right? How did these show up in your life? And who did you become instead? And how from that place you are going into 2026. The key is God Almighty has been with you all along, every step of the way, as it's been with me, as it's been with Michael. And sometimes when it's been very contracting, it's been hard to experience that. Yet when we come into this heart and unification in our body, when we're in the body, we get to experience it. For those of you who've been in my woman's 8 weeks, Woman of God Almighty, the 8 frequency keys that I've been leading you, it's incredible who you've become, right? And we have one more key tomorrow. We're finishing it. How incredible. You gave yourself the possibility. The next phase of it is in January for another group of women who dare to claim that they're a woman of God and they want to live from there. I'm so excited to share these 8 keys with you, 8 frequency keys to adjust in the early stages of 2026 and go all out in your authority and boldness. What an enriched 2025. So a few things for me. I wrote a lot, I sat with Michael and went through a whole lot of lists today. So many highlights. This year really started here. I'm going to go ahead and read for you a little bit so you can just hear from me as I wrote these. For example, these were some of the highlights. Michael's birthday party earlier this year was great, which was in February. We had the Persian New Year with family, which was amazing. My birthday, my 53rd birthday, was amazing with the friends. Mother's Day with my aunt coming, that was great. The 40-year immigration family reunion was amazing. My brother bringing his kids for the first time to Maryland for the entire family reunion was remarkable. The Thanksgiving, Christmas, as well as exploring different activities, being part of a mastermind, hiring 12 different mentors, investing a lot of beautiful money on these glorious mentors that each of them taught me something different that gave me the possibility for part of me to come out. A greater relationship with Michael, seeing myself in this, discovering a kinder, more understanding, less triggered, more joyful, more creative, more action oriented, more empowered, more organized, disciplined, more stable, more inner peace, more self reliant and radiant, more self-love, more self-respect of myself this year was really incredible. Seeing Michael, more willingness, more, again, discipline, more action, more stability, more confidence, more courage, more love, more partnership. Those were really incredible. Being able to face real difficulty and not lose my grounding was a huge one for me. Being able to follow my tuition, so great, in most incredible, bold way of showing up. Incredible. Being able to launch our website, being able to have 4 courses available now, part of our depth of teaching, being able to enter into finishing 3rd year of ministry, private ministry, incredible. Being able to pour the differences down and celebrate, focus more of the love between me and Michael as true partnership was incredible. Allowing my mom to have her own experiences, my children to have their own experiences, not have to save them, was incredible. Yet also showing up in authority for my children and support them in an area financially where they need it. Being able to stand behind my vision for podcast as well as public speaking and going through that training, being able to give voice to the way God's miracle has shot out in my life, that it can be part of the story that I'm sharing on stage, was incredible. So I wrote so many things about this year, and I feel one of the biggest highlight, there's a highlight I wrote here. I wrote, my takeaway of 2025, I can change my behavior by greater being able to change my belief, my thoughts, my emotions, and allow God Almighty experience a better life through me. This was a huge takeaway. And I'm so excited for even more of it into 2026. So what would you say your biggest takeaway has been this year? If you have been also part of our podcast community, part of our association, or part of my YouTube channel or our YouTube channel, what are some of your takeaways? I'm so curious to know, how have we really helped you? We would love to know. Can you leave some comments for us? Let us know. It would be the biggest help if you can leave a comment on this beautiful podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. And by the way, once every month, we have a giveaway for those who left comments. They've taken pictures of it and sending us an email saying, hey, I left a comment here. We have a draw once a month. And we would love for you to see who would be a winner of that draw. And that's just our fun way of giving gratitude to you, beautiful listeners. Yeah, isn't life glorious? Because from the human lens, we can look at it one way, and from the God Almighty lens, there's a whole different way. Life is beautiful, life is precious, life is right now. And as we wrap 2025, maybe take it with gratitude. Maybe take it with so much praise, so much thanksgiving, that all these things we experienced behind the scene was God Almighty. Nothing happened to us. Everything happened for us because we are that love. And even in difficult challenges, a part of us became alive. And that's part of the process. So good, so good. I already feel so elated even talking about it. And I want to thank you so much for being part of being part of this community podcast. It's so exciting. Oh, by the way, celebration. Today marks 750 downloads. Yes, to all of you who've been listening endlessly. You made this possible. We are on our way to 1,000 downloads, and that is going to unlock a whole bunch of things for us. We have exciting things planned for our podcast. Interviews will begin as well in 2026. We have lots of exciting things planned. So thank you so much for being with us. We really welcome you to join us greater in our private community. Join our association so you can stay strong or committed. If you want to be part of a community that is really faith-based, with our meditation, with our teaching, particularly one of the second tier we have that we start in January at the end of every month. We have this part which is truly about prosperous living. We are going to be doing live coaching on what the prosperity is all about. It ties into the prosperity gospel. It ties into the prosperity essence. It ties into prosperity consciousness. And a lot of people are focused on abundance, but they don't understand abundance is a nature that comes from being prosperous. And this is where we're going to dive into. We're going to do one whole year of mentorship around this, and you can sign up for it. For those of you who are part of our association, you will get the special price because you're a member. For those of you who are part of a public, you can join month to month. It is $222. Our association members are $188. So feel free to join us. That's also on our website. And we would love to support you in this mentorship, which is a fraction of a cost. And as a group, you'll be able to experience quite a bit out of this. So lots of wonderful things coming up. And I wish the best and the greatest as you wrap up these few days. You go into the closing the door of 2025 so you can open the door of 2026 in fullness and what you're available for. And we're going to talk about that more on the next episode, which is all about 2026. So thank you for staying put. God bless you. Much love to you. May you continue to walk with your radiant light, because that is who you truly are. And have a blessed day.